There we go. What's up, Murdochs? Did you see a message from me? Can you see this? Let's see if you see that. It shows that it's there. Yes, it works. Cool. It's been a minute since I fired up OBS. Been a minute. Hopefully there'll be some bad guys. Hopefully there'll be some bad guys flying around their alien ships. We'll do a bounty to kill time while we wait. Just make sure we know how to shoot and stuff. It's been a minute. EMP is on. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. I must have this was a used ship because they don't start with the EMP on, do they? Anyway, pick up any cool alien ships. I don't think I'll be doing any more buying until November. Got everything I need. I got too many damn ships. I'm gonna hit my bad guys are behind a paywall. I've already bought enough ships. So one of the things that I found is interesting is there was I don't know if it was a ban wave, but some naughty people got banned for griefing, stream sniping, I think. And it makes me wonder, like I went back and looked at some posts in Spectrum. I think it was Space Cutlet who got into a bit of a little chat PvP on Spectrum about how they really have nerfed all the natural PvP in this game. Like the only PvP that really exists are people that shoot a cop doing a bunker mission, and you gotta haul ass and get them because they're probably at a security depot with friends. Like it's almost a gameplay loop to just wait for someone to shoot a cop and then get them. So I'm excited for the bad guy delivery missions, although I think they're gonna suck compared to like the original Jump Down. And it makes you wonder why not encourage bad guy behavior? If you're gonna have a sandbox game, why not have people that just do nothing but knock down sandcastles? Like that's an excellent natural gameplay loop. I would think the developers would want there to be bad guys, because then the good guys, beat up on them. Like this entitled streamer bullshit, where like, oh, I'm reporting you to CIG. I've watched a couple people on stream, and like I've even gotten into like, I've gotten banned on quite a few people's streams just because I think they're idiots. Fucking Care Bears, like I'm reporting you, duh. They ban you from their chat, and they act like it's gonna hurt me if you ban me from chat. Like you're dumb. Like I'm a viewer that could have bought, like could give you money. Like I don't care. I don't like I create content just for boredom, really. Oh, I need more capacitors. The Vanguard is not nearly as strong as she used to be. I'm gonna die. I wanna die. Let's run. Oh, no wonder why we got a what you call it, a hurricane after us. Man, the NPCs just light you up now, don't they? Probably PvP sucks now. I'm gonna have to kill this guy first. I want to log in PvP. I play only PvP games. In fact, the games I've gone the hardest on are the ones where, like, I was really like at underdog. Wow, that killed him pretty fast, actually. The games I played the hardest were the hardest core PvP games, like Tarkov and Last Oasis and Worlds Adrift. They were unforgiving, and that's what... We got a warden behind us somewhere. Yeah, you wouldn't. Oh. I recently changed the keybind so I can target engines a little bit easier. I used to have to take my... Yeah, look at that. I used to take my finger off my left HOTAS to change targets, and now I put it on a thumb switch. Jesus. Let's go neutralize this. The warden's out of the picture. That's right, I haven't seen Nerd Show in a while. He was a cool streamer. And he wasn't a Care Bear, man. Oh, these Care Bears just annoy me. I don't know why CIG like even addresses the Care Bears. I can't believe you banned a player for PvP in a PvP game. Like, if you're gonna stream, then you're gonna expect to be stream sniped, but you just better be good at streaming, you know? Deal with it. And you're gonna be so cringe that people come after you. You reap what you sow. Anyway, they need to bring back some PvP in this game, because it's non-existent. Let's use our front shields have not come back up. Let's use our EMP here. Atmosphere just really kind of nerfs us, doesn't give us the ability to... Come on, charge EMP, we need you now. Oh, and the PvE's glitching. Oh, I just fired my EMP after the fucker died. And look at this warden still. The warden's still in the fight. That's hilarious. Give me an EMP. So let's see, what's going on here? Oh, I see, that's the timer coming down. Oh, he's trying. Oh, Jesus, he's gonna hit us. That's awesome. Let's see, guys, other engine. Yeah, other engine targeted. Aww. Man, that little fight fucked us up. That was only the first target out of 3. Heavy fighters aren't what they used to be. And the Atmo fights is a great leveler of skill. You can't come in and out. You're just so limited to maneuverability and speed. It makes those types of fights really difficult. Or at least difficult the way I just tried to do it. That was dumb. Alright, well, let's take the small ads out first. Maybe we'll get to keep our wing. So it should be an exciting video today. Banu Merchantman's gonna probably show us some cool shit we haven't seen in a while. Last time we saw like the gray box rendering and like the engine and moving parts stuff. It'll be pretty cool, I guess. I dig the BMM. I think I may keep one. I've got a cheap one too. I was toying with the idea of going shotguns on my Gladius. Or like the shotgun disruptor. Maybe do 2 shotgun. I don't even know. I was just thinking about it. They used to be super brutal back in the day. It's just hard to stop a bigger ship with a little ship. I've tried a couple times with like a Cuddy Blue to lock down like a Connie or something like that. And it just doesn't have the DPS to get through the shields anymore. Even with fixed size 3s. Bullshit. Hurricane will take him out first. Okay, let's loose some missiles. Loose missiles. Cool, my missiles aren't loosened. Awesome. Oh, fuck. Oh, come on. No, 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 no. Oh, my EMP didn't fire because it was clicking on and off. That's an annoying noise. I'm gonna die. That is so fucking annoying. Oh my god, it's over. All systems are lost. Oh jeez. Fucking stop making that noise. That was annoying as hell. Couple mode. Oh, Inside Star Citizen's up. The Mustang is a cigar. Let's try and kill this Hurricane. Something else is just shooting at us. Oh, come on, what was that? The desync when they like change their attitude by like 30 degrees in a single click, in a single frame. He's got to be fucked up after that. Is that the Mustang that's shooting at us? Oh, the Mustang with no wings. I guess he's not in atmosphere, so he doesn't need them. Using a light strike cannon, right? Yeah, light strike. Probably should put a size 5 repeater on the bow. Oh man, I don't think we're gonna make it and survive the third one, but let's try. A bounty. He's a fucking Grimhex. Well, that's the other problem. That's the other problem about bounties. They're always at Grimhex. Like, lame. Granted, I do the same thing, but I just need to make it more fun. I want PvP again. Great. We'll hit this bounty, then we go check out inside Star Citizen. Do have a new giveaway on Discord. If you guys haven't joined our Discord, it's discord.gg/Star Citizens with an S at the end. Been kind of slacking lately. Real life and work and all that jazz. The lack of interest in Star Citizen where it's at. The free fly was not really that great. Where's the special event that's supposed to be happening? The Ninetales lockdown thing? Over at Orison? I mean, I made a bunch of money, but it didn't really affect me because I already had a shitload of in-game money. Oh, it's that security depot hurt. What the navigation, stupid. There's no guy I need to kill, right? Yep. You guys are probably gonna kill me because my ship's already fucked up. But we'll try. Give it the old college try. Alright, wish me luck here. Why won't you fire? Oh, the missiles aren't ready. Great. Woohoo, let's get out of here.
The Banu.
Like the visual architecture.
They just seem like kind of cool critical thinkers.
Let's try that again.
I think my favorite alien species in Star Citizen, if I had to pick one, if I had to, I love them all. Yeah, I have a deep fondness for the Banu.
Like the visual architecture.
They just seem like kind of cool critical thinkers.
The Xi'an I'm closest to mentally, meaning I know more about them than all of the others.
They're like the chill, relaxed ones.
Even though they're so friendly, they look like they can pack a punch, you know?
So far, the ones that have piqued my interest is the round one.
They're the predators of the space in our universe.
And they look really kind of fierce and ferocious. You know, when you encounter them, you know you're in a lot of trouble.
My favorite alien race, probably the Vandal. There's no alien ship better than the Talon.
Isn't the Talon Tavaran?
It is Tavaran, yeah, but the Tavarans themselves I'm not keen on. That ship. But yeah, the Vandal, they just tick all the right boxes for me.
Alien Week is here, and with it, our annual celebration of Xi'an, Banu, Tavaran, and even the dreaded Vandal. And if you haven't already, check out the various contests and activities happening across social on the robertspaceindustries.com website. But for us here at ISC, we thought we'd take this week to dedicate entirely to exploring the current status of the highly anticipated Banu merchantman. Now, warning, much of it is still in gray box or early white box phase. Still, there's a lot to explore of its mysterious interior. Let's find out more.
I think when tackling a ship that's got so many unknowns about it, it's a completely new art style, or it's not something that a lot of the team kind of worked on before, we kind of need to make sure that we're approaching it in the most sensible way we can.
All right, so some old thunder. We are jumping in with our devs. We have got vehicle art director, Mr. Ben Curtis.
Hello. Hello.
And senior vehicle designer, Mark Gibson.
Hello.
And we are going to be showing the very real, very current progress of the Banu merchantman. Before we get into it, let's talk a little bit about where we are in that process. Ben, we know the Banu merchantman has been in development for a while, then it's not in development. Set this up for us. Where are we at overall in its development?
The exterior is going through its grey box pass. So it's looking a little bit more advanced than the interior of the ship that we'll see in a bit. We've basically got 2 artists on it, and we kind of chop the ship up into different parts that they can work on. And we're just going through and making sure that everything that needs to fit in the ship is going to fit in the ship.
And it's worth noting that this is a landmark ship for Star Citizen. This is one of the biggest ships of its kind. It's got entirely new purposes with the shops and everything inside. It's pushing an alien race into a new size and scale that we've never done with any of the other ships outside of Squadron 42. There is a lot to this ship. So with that, let's jump on in and start with the exterior.
So we've got the entire front with its hidden weapons that come out from there for the pilot control. It's dual docking collars, one on either side. It's wings with the new animation designs for them for how they're actually going to deploy As you can see, there's a lot of detailing on the wing section, a very elaborate and almost elegant design on it, because at the end of the day, this is something they use as a trademark to show how wealthy they are and well they're doing as a trader.
That's a lot of detail, even for grey box phase.
Yeah, it's a new art style. We've done the Defender obviously, but for the UK team, it's a kind of new art style, and also the Defender is vastly smaller in terms of its size. There's our normal kind of approach to how we kind of layer in the details has needed a bit of kind of alteration, and we've had to kind of think about how we're going to bring in some of those smaller scale elements to give a better sense of size and scale. Because when you zoom out from this ship, you still want it to feel huge. And it deserves to feel huge. It is absolutely monstrous. So I think we've had to spend a bit more time working out how we're going to add detail to it. There's still a lot to be done. There's still a lot of the finer details to be added, because that does impact in how we model the ship, how we make the ship. So yeah, it's been a fun challenge for the artist so far.
I understand there was a recent change to the animations.
Yep, I'll have to go get in.
Oh.
They were very quick.
Oh, the animation is nowhere near final. It was just to make sure we got it in.
I think it's a fair disclaimer for this. Absolutely no part of what you're seeing today.
Yep,
it's fine.
I remember seeing the play blast in Max, and they were a little bit felt a bit weightier and a bit sleeker than that. But yeah, there is some kind of subtle movement where panels open up and they allow for the kind of like the rest of the wings to slide in. And as with everything we do, we make sure that there's not space magic going on. Things actually kind of fit and function as they should. So yeah, it gives a few more challenges, but I think the end result is a much nicer kind of silhouette when you see this thing parked.
Let's move inside. Let's start with the bridge since we're already there.
Okay, so the interior of the ship, like I say, is the main, like you're going to see now, is mainly in kind of white box. The concept mesh gave us like a really good starting point. As always with concept meshes, we had to do a fair amount of kind of optimizations and remodeling to kind of get it to the point where we can get it into engine and kind of start walking around it. The bridge is I'm trying not to say the same thing for every area. It's massive, and you can just any area of the ship you go into, just know that in the back of my head I'm thinking it's huge. We've obviously got the kind of like the 4 control seats. Mark, do you want to talk through the different functionality stations? Yeah.
So as ever, the Banu don't have captains. They're a very family communal sort of unit, so it didn't make sense to have a primary captain station for the bridge section. In reality, everything would be relatively even. So we have the pilot seat and control, which obviously with a ship of this scale, it's very difficult to get a good view from the pilot seat, to get a good view of what's actually happening. So a lot of the animations need to be very alien so that you can get the pilot into a good position so they'd be able to see what they're doing. So we use a lot of Zion tech, which lift things up through gravity, so they get this fantastic view out the front so you can see where you're actually going. So you've got your primary pilot seat, then to the right of them you have your co-pilot seat, then 2 stations behind are for the large remote turrets that the ship has for defense. So if you ever need it, people can quickly jump into these seats and get into the action to try and defend you from whatever's happening if it's coming up behind or the sides. Obviously, if it's coming on front, the pilot has more than enough means to be able to deal with it themselves.
And if your instinct was to stop the YouTube video and go immediately to comments and say, it's pronounced Shion, Mark, get a better hobby.
I'll say you'd be correct.
Directly behind the bridge where the actual operations occur, you have some basic features for if stuff goes wrong. So you have some suit lockers to put emergency suits in, because obviously they're not going to want to go around in their day-to-day lives wearing their spacesuit all the time. But if something goes wrong, they do want them to hand. So next to the actual escape pods, you have your suit lockers to quickly get suited and booted, and then be able to get into your escape pod and get out of there if you need to. So they have one on either side, one for each of the actual crew that would be on the bridge, as well as a couple of extra, because leading a little further down, we actually have the more habitation side of the ship, but we'll get to that when we get there. Directly behind, we also have the entryway to get inside the main man turret.
This is kind of one of the rooms that we spent a bit of time kind of playing with in white box and making sure we got it right. We really wanted this to kind of feel like quite a moment walking into it.
Yeah.
Go on, Jared.
No.
Okay.
Even in Gray Box, this is quite a moment here.
Yeah, there was some really nice bits in the kind of concept where you had these kind of like these like lit walls, and we tried to kind of pull some of that into, and I think it's almost having that kind of moment of like solitude before you kind of get yoinked up into battle. So it's quite a lonely area of the ship. Everywhere else on the ship kind of feels like it's built for like Mark was saying, like the family, whereas this is kind of very purposeful. You know what you're getting into as soon as you walk in that room.
And obviously the exterior shell there, when all said and done, would open up and reveal you to the outside.
Yeah, absolutely.
So an interesting thing about the turret, because it's probably something people are going to be curious about, is how it actually works, because there's no big arm there behind it or anything like that. Once again, it's using alien technology that's keeping it up in place, which is what the plinth is for behind it. And there's an air shield that will be going around the top of here, so that when you actually enter the turret, you're not venting the entirety of the room. Obviously, that does mean that people could try and sneak onto your ship, but while your turret's manned, that might not be the safest thing for them to do.
I love that Xi'an Fight of the Navigator tech.
Moving down from the actual bridge area, we then move into the sanctuary. So the Banu are known for being very multicultural when it comes to their religious beliefs. So they have a entire area dedicated to worship, to fortune, to hoping that things are going to go well for them, or that the next trade deal is going to be a good one. So this is sort of at the end of the Tree of Life, which is how the entire ship's built around. And it makes sense for it to be at the end of the tree, because it's where everything comes out from. So it was important to keep that feel that it runs through the root of the ship. Going off the side of the sanctuary area, we have the med bay, something that people are very curious about where it actually was. It's just off to the side, just behind the bridge, just near where all of the actual habitation is. You have a primary medical care bed, which will do your day-to-day actual healing, and then you have recovery beds similar to the ones we have on the Carrack. Now, rather than just being a bed, decided to try something a little different. It's now these pools of healing gel that you lie in just to recover from any significant operation that you had.
Yeah, I think this was again an excuse to kind of just push the ship away from what we're used to seeing. So originally we had like the 3 beds lined up in here, and it was functional. It was it still looked good. It was just like, it'd be really nice if these if you had your operation and then you just sink down into that recovery pool, and
I am drippings with goo.
Yeah, exactly.
Secretly tucked behind the actual medical section is where the actual medical officer would work. So it's his main station, as well as storage supplies for whatever medical supplies that he needs. Obviously, at the moment, it's just the back of the bed, but it's where you do refills on the bed or anything else that you'd need to do. Obviously, the doors across the entire ship are very alien in appearance. So though they make sense, but at the same time, like it was very important that going across this to make everything make sense to the human eye, but at the same time be so different. So you immediately recognize it as a door, but once it starts actually animating and doing something, it feels completely alien. And even doing the general design of the ship, it was important to keep that consistent, something that is easily recognizable, but also completely different to what people expect. Moving on from the shrine area, we move into the recreation and social habitation area. So you've got your food maker, along with areas to actually eat, as well as the actual social area. So people can sit around, talk, plan stuff out.
And I think one of the things that we try to tackle here is obviously we have very strict metrics for our human characters, and the Banu as a race are generally a bit taller, a bit larger. So there's that kind of balance between making things work for both scales of character, and making sure that we don't end up with let's say like the child in the scene. I remember we brought it up in one of the update meetings, and the consensus was, well, this is a Banu ship, and whilst they support all the other races that we have in our universe, ultimately it's their ship, and so things should be made to to their scale.
Directly off the habitation area, we have a secondary control for the hangar section. So if someone needs to actually be allowed to enter into the hangar, you have a separate control room to allow you to open up the hangar doors to permit the additional ship to come in. Once again, it's standard doors, but the whole animation, all of it's very alien.
And obviously, when we get to kind of final art, we'll dress this up so there does look to be some functionality there, because we don't want it all to be space magic. It still needs to feel like there is kind of mechanisms there that are supporting these things lifting and being able to kind of hover and float.
Coming off the habitation area, we have 2 staff lifts. So these ones would be specifically for the staff to allow them to move around the ship a lot easier. We'll come back to them later because there's a better point to show them, but they just give you more access just because of the size of the ship. We needed to have multiple ways to get up and down. Otherwise, if you want to get from one part to another, you'd have to run the entire length of the ship, go down the floor to run the entire length again. So we added multiple ways to move up and down between the ship. So at the rear here, we have the we have the crew specific lift. This has access to all of the floors, unlike the customer lift. This is the passenger entrance area. So the lift will go to this floor for all of the passengers, which then gives them a little foyer area before they enter whatever floor they're on. We have the meeting area. So this is the conference room where important delegates would come to discuss significant trade negotiations rather than I'm going buying a power plant, I'm going to buy fuel. This is where serious conversations and serious negotiations go.
Yeah, this has got like a really nice view out over the like cargo hold as well, doesn't it?
Yep. To the side of the actual meeting and delegation room, we have the VIP suites. So obviously your VIP delegates are going to want something a bit nicer, a bit more special when it comes to where they're resting. So they have their own private chambers so that they can rest and relax and freshen up before they actually go do any significant meetings.
And again, this sort of room highlights a lot of the I guess the shape language and the difficulties on the ship is that everything's curved, everything flows, and there is that kind of like real kind of like leading shapes that kind of like lead you through the ship, as opposed to what we're so used to on a lot of our human manufactured ships, whereas everything's hard and angled and flat. Really, the only thing in this ship that's flat is the floor.
So the negotiation table has one seat at the top for the actual mediator, which obviously would be a member of the crew, and then even number of seats on either side for the delegates to have their discussions. From the actual meeting room, you get a fantastic view of the cargo hold, where all of your goods would actually be stored. As you can see, the amount of cargo that the ship holds is colossal. And just the sheer volume of it gives you this cavernous, cathedral-like view of being stuck in the rafters of a warehouse worth of stock.
Yeah, it gives you a real sense of how tall the ship actually is. When we get to the market, you kind of get a glimpse at that, but it's not until you get into somewhere like this that spans the whole, or not even the whole height. You've got the hangar above the height of this, how big the ship actually is.
Well, we're not going to be able to go through every single room and nook and cranny today. This is too big a ship. So let's go to the market now and take a look at that.
So I think this is what a lot of the kind of customers are going to see when they first walk into the ship. Is this sort of like reveal of the market area. And what we tried to do in this area is kind of everywhere you walk into it, you're kind of walking through a small tunnel or quite a tight space, so that when you kind of do walk into it, it does then open up and you can see that sort of like that grandeur and that height of the ship. And this is only 2 out of, I think it's 5 or 6 floors at this point of the part of the ship you're in. But I think it's just a nice kind of like reveal of the overall kind of again, just repeating that size and that verticality that we see in the other areas of the ship. I think we've already shown a lot of the concept art of this area already, but the idea here is that you've got this hollow in the middle that will kind of will allow the traders to kind of show off some of their items that might not fit in the shops or might be too valuable to place in the shops. So yeah, it's a very exciting area of the ship, this part. Okay, and the last area we want to show you today is kind of the area that we spent a little bit more time on. It's a little bit further along. We've tried to take some areas and push their visuals, so we've got a good understanding of how much work's involved, and what the kind of like the final ship is actually going to look like, because it is such a large ship and there's going to be a lot of people ultimately working on it. I think it's good to have that kind of key area that you can kind of refer to as this is what the merchantman's all about. And whilst each area of the ship will have its own feel, will have its own kind of style and in its own forms, I think this is a good indication of the kind of elegance. And if you imagine this is the crew area and the guest area is going to be a level above this, I think it gives you a good idea of what we're aiming for.
The other thing is with the Banu, they're very communal in how they actually live their lives. So it didn't make sense to have separate quarters or separate captain's quarters, because that's just not how they live. And getting the social pit for them to be able to sit around and talk and relax and socialize, it was an important thing to make sure that we got in. The space needed to feel fine and elegant, but also homely.
And that's pretty much where we're up to with the Banu Merchantman at the moment. This is kind of as hot off the press as it comes. There's a lot of areas of the ship we've not shown yet. We're really happy with the progress we've made so far, but at the moment we are kind of at that point where we've got a skeleton crew just kind of working out everything that we need to get done to deliver the ship. When time permits, we'll be able to ramp that up and bring on more of the team to kind of get through the amount of work that's involved. Super excited with where it's up to. I think it's going to be one of those that kind of stand out, one of those hallmark ships that kind of defines what Star Citizen is. It shows that there's more to our universe than single-seater fighters and the likes.
So what did we learn this week? Well, she may not look like much just yet. It still has a long journey ahead of her. But if the Banu Defender before her is any indication, and given its sheer size and scale, the Banu Merchantman seems like it's going to shape up to be a landmark ship for Star Citizen when all is said and done. And as part of Alien Week, there are also these rad new paints available for select ships that you can see here. So check those out if, looking sweet as all heck is something you're interested in. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We're still here on the 8th floor of the Manchester Goods Yard building, the 2nd floor of the upcoming new UK office, and this is where I'm told CR's office is going to be when he visits. Also this weekend was the first International Bar Citizen Weekend, so here's some imagery from the gatherings near studios around the world. And don't forget to let us know on social where your events are being held at, as we're going to be sending folks to select locations throughout the remainder of this year. We'll see you all next week.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System. The ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location. Goodbye. Vehicle selected. Stand by. Your vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
Well, I think that's it for me, guys. That was a not as exciting as I thought it would be. I can't wait for something to excite me in Star Citizen because it's just not there right now.